Hello and welcome back everybody to the Join Dota League season number 3, game number 2 between nLions and my carry can't be this Kawaii in a 2-game series. First game, we saw some crazy picks like an Omni Knight, Wind Ranger and an item H being on one team. Unfortunately for Kawaii, it didn't work out at all. nLions, they just had an extremely strong Faceless Void overall, great draft and execution, but it's game number 2. Every game of Dota is different of course, and well, we're jumping straight into the draft. My name is Coacher, and once again I am joined by Mike Loris.
In this game, we get to see Face4 on the other end, with Enigma this time, being picked first for my carry can't be this Kawaii. I would normally say Enigma, if you want to pick that hero up, I mean, it's a great hero, go ahead, pick him up later, because usually he's let through to the second stage, oftentimes even let through to the third stage. So, I mean, they could have gotten away with it, but regardless, they're going to have a little bit of pushing early on, they're going to have a really secure jungle, and hopefully a little bit of wombo combo action.
Yeah, and actually both teams start pretty damn strong picking up 2 cores. I mean, Doom of course can counter both the Faceless Void and the Enigma, just completely 100% shut those heroes down. So of course, you shut one down, the other still has his ultimate ready. Although, not only does the Doom have his ultimate to just deal with those heroes, even the Death Prophet, with a nicely timed and positioned silence, can completely win them the team fight already. And well, my carry can't be this Kawaii. Finding out a Rubik now, it only makes sense. You really don't want anything to be stolen if you have just such high priority spells. They might even go, never mind, Tidehunter got banned now, so I guess that's out of the option, but do you see any more Wombo coming into their combo?
I like the way you put that, but I think Witch Doctor is definitely still on the table. It'll be a great lane support for Faceless Void, give him a little more survivability, and also if you could Black Hole a group of Northern Lions and then drop a ward, or Chronosphere and then drop the ward, that's a lot of dead heroes really, really quickly, and it could be a really great combination for Kawaii if they do manage to secure that hero and get the combo going. They could go for something like an Invoker and kind of do the same thing, though I'm not sure how capable they are at playing that hero. Earthshaker would also be good.
Yeah, it definitely could make sense there. And we'll see how either of those teams want to mix it up. I mean, a hero like Shadow Shaman is still available as well for either side. It would be maybe a little bit stronger for nLions, and actually if they got their hands on a Shadow Shaman, it would mean just crazy push, Exorcism, Mass Serpent wards, easy Roshan as well with both of the same spells. It could be something that just gives them the edge, just having the dire side advantage, even if my carry can't be this Kawaii has just the huge wombo combo. Once they blow their ultimates into an Aegis, you can still possibly win a team fight after that. So we'll see how that also comes into play.
And Kawaii have to be careful to not go too deep into the wombo combo. If they do, Northern Lions always have that option of picking up a Silencer, and Silencer is the type of hero that will absolutely destroy this type of lineup that Kawaii are so far building for themselves. Now, Enigma Faceless Void doesn't necessarily mean they're going to be going all in with these long, high-impact ultimates, but if they do go for that, they have to be careful, because they're currently facing down 2 Silences, and they don't really want to be facing down anymore. Earthshaker will be the pickup, instantly responded to by the Wraith King. So I actually really like this Earthshaker pickup from my carry.
Yeah, Kiilstofte is just a good hero overall. So great that just early game, although at the moment, that does mean that Earthshaker will be alone and just pull, or trying rather to bully out the enemy offlaner, because Enigma will just try to speed farm in the jungle of course. So that might be the one downside of this hero pickup at the moment. And do you think this Faceless Void is going to be a safe lane carry like nLions did in the last game, or are we going to see that offlane Faceless?
So far, I see no reason to put the Faceless Void in anything but the safe lane. If Northern Lions pick up a really devastating offlane hero, that could be a reason to put Faceless Void somewhere else, but right now, at the very worst, it's going to be Faceless Void versus Doom, and in a 1v1 matchup like that, especially with the Earthshaker backup, Faceless Void will be perfectly capable in that lane. If Northern Lions do pick up a very aggressive third, such as the Shadow Shaman, let's go with the Shadow Shaman Wraith King combination, then things are going to get a lot more difficult for my carry, not just because they'll be under more pressure, but because their laning is going to be a lot harder. As you said, Earthshaker, Faceless Void, they're both melee, and Earthshaker is going to be pretty much on solo support duty, because Enigma wants to be jungling. So the lanes from my carry, they're so far a little bit weak. But hey, they got away with an Omni Knight last game, so, or kind of got away in air quotes. But maybe they'll be fine with just weathering that storm.
Yeah, we'll see about that if they can manage to do so. And well, Mirana is the pickup for them. It still doesn't really give a clear indication about how the Faceless Void is going to be laned, whether the Mirana is going to be support or not. Actually, they need a mid laner as well, so there's a small chance, which I don't think it will happen, but a small chance nonetheless, that Earthshaker will be a mid lane farming one.
I really, really hope to see that. Not because I think it's great, but because I think it's hilarious. And I'm all aboard that. But so far, I think Northern Lions with the Shadow Shaman pickup, they have certainly the stronger lineup at the moment. They have a lot more pushing power. It seems like their lineup is just a lot more focused. My carry, their lineup is kind of all over the place. You said before, Mirana, you would kind of want... I think in this situation, she might have to be played as a core, and I don't know how much I like that without proper setup. Mirana faces Void with Enigma in the jungle. Maybe Enigma goes into the off lane, and then Mirana solos mid. It's not the strongest, but with the heroes that they've picked up, they don't have strong lanes.
Yeah, it's kind of a worry because they really want to just buy proper time for them to actually get their level 6s, get their ultimates going, maybe get those first item or two. So, Northern Lions, if they go really aggressive, they can just completely shut down Kawaii from the get-go, especially if they roam into the enemy jungle as a 5-man unit, and with a Shadow Shaman Dazzle as a supporting duo, Brave King being the carry, they can easily go for an aggressive tri-lane, go through the enemy jungle before the camps even spawn, ward them off completely so that the Enigma will have an extremely hard time there. So, it might be scary, but then again, just having an Invoker now as the last pick for Kawaii, if they land their combo, it's gonna be huge and absolutely massive.
Yeah, this Dazzle last pick is going to serve them really well. If they get that weave off early on, Doom could certainly benefit a lot from that, seeing as though he is an inherently low armor hero. And of course, everyone else is going to be a lot more resistant when the pushes do come from Northern Lions. And when they do, my carry, they do have Invoker, Earthshaker to kind of defend against that. But is that enough? I don't really know, because Northern Lions should be able to take down at least a couple of towers once their Death Prophet gets a few levels that my carry simply won't be able to defend.
Yeah, I mean, I really love the Dazzle pickup, to be honest, especially since it's a Wraith King carry as well against Wombo. Because once you blow your ultimates, or rather Kawaii has to make sure that they don't blow everything on the first life of the Wraith King. But even so, let's say they chrono somebody and the Dazzle just escapes the chrono. He can also shallow grave somebody, just buy him some valuable seconds of extra life. It's a really well thought out pick, I think, the Dazzle, against what Kawaii has to offer. So we'll see how well it works out for either side, but we do get that standard pause at the start of the game.
The Dazzle doesn't have the usual setup or the ideal setup with the Shadow Demon. That's the dream combination where you disrupt someone instantly into the Shadow Wave and you burst them down for a ton of physical damage. But that's going to be fine. Like, what they lack in that, they lack in what you mentioned before. Lots of utility off this hero and appropriate utility versus what Kawaii currently have for themselves. Kawaii, they have finished their lineup with the Invoker that I mentioned a little bit earlier, so they will have access to the Sunstrikes and a lot more teamfight potential. If Kawaii, just stall this game out a little bit, then they should be okay, especially if they get this Faceless Void a lot of farm.
Yeah, this Void has to do a lot, and actually, wait a minute, this Void's head looks really weird.
I've never seen this head before.
And I was like, before when it was paused, he didn't even have those eyes or whatever, the flame coming from his head. But it looks like somebody just completely cut open his skull, or rather ripped off half of his skull or something and even took out the brain. So, yeah.
Well, he's certainly living up to his name. So let's very quickly go over who's playing what, because it looks like we might have some level 1 action. The Mirana is going to lead the charge in the bottom lane, played by June. CY is going to follow up on the Earthshaker. We got Jelly's playing the Invoker. Looks like he's going mid. Bashrik is going to be on the jungling Enigma. And top lane, Supercell is going to be farming that one up as the Void.
And for Northern Lions, Ingman leading the charge for them on the Brave King. Actually might get this stun. Can he get the range on? No, Sai actually started with Boots of Speed, so gonna be fine. Sadan will be playing the Shadow Shaman, leaving Chan on the Dazzle, CA to play the Doombringer, and Phantom in that mid lane Death Prophet. And they are leaving behind an aggressive tri-lane here as well, as was to be expected, I guess.
Yeah, this aggressive tri-lane is going to be really, really difficult for Kawaii to overcome. CY as the Earthshaker is good defensively in a tri-lane, but they're going to be purely defensive. Like, Mirana's going to have to take leap level 1, because if she gets hexed or anything like that, she will just die. She can't really survive against this chain stun, this amount of damage that's going to be put out by, at least, at the very least, both the Shadow Shaman as well as the Dazzle. That's a lot of range damage, a lot of poking, and it's going to be at the very, it's going to be a, no, well, Earthshaker's leaving for now. I don't know what they're planning on doing, but if Mirana is left solo, that's probably better for Kawaii, since I don't see them winning that bottom lane.
Yeah, Kiilstofte definitely couldn't do too much to help there. I mean, Fisher or not, Mirana needs to get a leap anyway to survive there. Maybe can cancel Shackles, I guess, is the best solution there. But top lane, already the Doombringer as well as the Faceless Void, just exchanging a lot of punches. And of course, Doombringer starting with 0 base armor, definitely something that he usually doesn't want to do. But Mirana might already be in trouble. Dazzle does have the invis room, would have been so much better on the Shadow Shaman though.
That ultimately doesn't even matter, because as soon as he wants to do something, his invisibility times out. But yeah, the Doom versus the Faceless Void. Faceless Void should have the edge slightly in early game duels whenever they want to wail on each other, but Doom has, or started out with 8 tangos, so Doom is going to be more than okay with taking a little bit more damage, since he's going to have more sustain on the lane overall. Earthshaker has gone down to this bottom lane, and June is probably not going to get anything done here. He has boots level 1, so he's going to be pretty secure, but they're going to mostly sack this lane in exchange for Basharek, who's in the enemy jungle, just trying to get something in order to redeem this crappy start for the bottom lane of Kawaii.
And I actually absolutely love that Enigma in the enemy jungle. He can potentially even rotate into the mid lane, set up a few kills on the Death Prophet, just cold snap into Malphite, into maybe even Eidolons, making it their run time, although they are so damn slow. So I wouldn't really count on that, but it is possible, and the Enigma getting off to a good start is absolutely crucial for the lineup and setup of Kawaii in general. But bottom lane, it's just such a hard point for them, and this Invoker, has he put a point into Exort or Wex? Nope, not yet. I actually think that he might be going for Wex even against Wraith King, although it's like iffy. They probably need more damage into their ultimate still.
Top lane, CA and Supercell are still going at it. I don't think these two heroes are ever going to stop, although Supercell is currently out of tangos, whereas CA still has a full stack available to him. So Faceless Void needs to stop taking these fights like this. It might feel to him that he's getting ahead, but he's actually falling further and further behind. But the courier in the mid lane, here comes Basharek, needs one more attack though. This vanilla donkey is going to escape successfully the Enigma, making his presence known that he's in fact in the enemy jungle. But yeah, as you mentioned before, I was looking at the Invoker and I was just thinking this is probably the game, if there was ever one, to go for Wex. And now that he has Tornado invoked, he is going to be going for a Wex build. So EMP Tornado coming right up.
I mean, trying to shut down the Wraith King, it definitely can be of use. And overall, just disrupting the teamfight of Northern Alliance. Maybe getting a grand escape, but mid lane, the rotation coming. Malphite's Easter, will we see Cold Snap? Already was used, and Phantom. Does he actually have enough to survive? No, he does not, as Pashrok gets the first blood on the Enigma. Now tanking up the tower a little bit. Eidolons switch the aggro, and man, they needed this so bad to actually get off to a good start.
Yeah, Wex Invokers usually don't even get Hands of Midas. You need a little bit more positioning when you're going to be going for this. You need phase boots. You need to get those that fast movement speed up really quickly, because your movement speed is going to be fairly, your attack damage rather, is going to be fairly low when you are going for this type of build. And it's a good start. Having the Invoker participate in the first blood is certainly going to help him get those additional levels up. Once you get 3-4 points in Wex, you're going to be really hard to catch, but also more importantly, you're going to be able to drain out the Wraith King's mana pool, which is going to be, I think, the chief reason why he's going for this Wex build in the first place.
Yeah, it probably is, and Pashrok actually makes his way top lane. They're gonna go, Time Walk comes in, Malphite is there as well, but Scorch Surf, it should be enough for the health region and the movement speed, or will it actually see Ace dropping low? Time Lock, nope. Supercell not gonna get a lucky one in the end there, and so too, he escapes. Oh, he wanted to go back in. He wants to devour a creep, just barely has enough mana for it as well.
Hex on the bottom lane, Jude gets tagged by the Wraithfire Blast, but instantly the Fissure from CY bailing his Mirana friend out. The arrow's going to be thrown onto the Shadow Shaman of all people, but it looks like Ingman's going to struggle up against that Fissure for a little bit. He's going to be just fine. So far, no successful aggression from the nLions side, but I think they're going to be okay with that, because whether they get kills or not is largely irrelevant. This Mirana is not getting any farm. Levels are nice, but as a core Mirana, you really need to get that gold.
You really do, man. Playing catch-up as a Mirana definitely isn't the best thing you're looking for. He can still go for a delayed Hand of Midas as well if he really wants to, although thus far 3-2 as far as last hits go compared to Inkman's 23-9. And even mid lane, although Phantom actually gave away first blood, he's still leading in last hits and by quite a heavy margin, 28-8 compared to Chaliel's 13-6.
You would really expect that from this type of lane, only if the Invoker is going to be going for a Wex build. Again, you're going to be short on base damage, that's why he's going to try to get the phase boots up as soon as possible. He doesn't have the right-click power to force Phantom out of lane, nor does he have the right-click power to beat him in the last hits. If he had Exort, then it'll be fine for him, but unfortunately he doesn't. That top lane, Supercell can drop the Chronosphere onto CA with those Eidolons pecking away. They should be able to secure the Doom, but, well, he's going to get Shallow Grave by the Dazzle, who did teleport in. CA is going to regenerate just a little bit. Supercell trying to get this kill, won't happen, is going to burn to death from the Scorched Earth. It's a free kill as John and Satan both rotate up to the top lane and save their Doom and secure a kill for their team. Not bad from them.
Yeah, really well done by the supports. They're doing exactly what was required of them. Just clutch Shallow Grave coming out, and man, Faceless Void sticking around there. I think he maybe even would have gotten out, but he wanted to go back for one right click on Doom. But Bashruk still hanging around. Doesn't have a TP. Is he gonna get caught? Oh man, they were so close. Nighttime, now he goes out of it. Hex, not coming out. Checkless, of course, can't go for it as the Malphite is there. He's creating some more Idol on Supercell. He's there, Time Walk to slow down Satan. Hex comes out, but I think Shadow Shaman is probably gonna go down. And indeed he is, and Dazzle is like, yeah guys, I'm out.
Yeah, the Shadow Shaman put up quite a fight, dropped the Enigma fairly low, but the Dazzle, without any mana to really help, made the responsible decision, left his friend to die, and, well, you just can't really do much for your friend in that scenario. Invoker, once again, trading hits with Phantom, but he's not going to get an edge because here comes the Dazzle once again, just with a level 1 Poison Touch, slowing the Invoker down a little bit. Tornado will maybe secure the Invoker's escape. They need another nuke from the Crypt Swarm, but it's not going to happen. Invoker barely managed to live, and him and Enigma going to limp home back to their bases.
Yeah, that was a really good tornado, to be honest. Catching both of them, the angle was absolutely perfect for that. I mean, if the depth of that bottled up before the tornado came, or when they actually started going on him, maybe he would have had enough for another Crypt Swarm. He was like 5 mana off in the end. But not to be. Kill score 2-1 in Kawaii's favor, so that's good. But oh, bottom lane, the arrow does unfortunately miss, and now suddenly he comes in, the Hex, the Shackles, oh, just
Whoa.
after leap! Look at that range! Whoa, wow.
Well, that was a pretty sweet shackle, but as soon as the Shadow Shaman and Dazzle went up to the top lane, as good as that play was, Ingman was suddenly stuck in a 1v2 lane that he, although he does have an experience advantage, or had an experience advantage, wasn't able to withstand. I mean, 36 for 10 is all well and good, but Mirana, as soon as those creeps left, in the meantime, top lane, there's a tornado up on the Doom, and this time they should be able to secure CA. Maybe, possibly. Scorched Earth is regenerating him really quickly. No Dazzle coming in this time, but CA once again managing to live. This Doom is unkillable, man.
Yeah, I was so sure he's gonna go down this time, especially when the tornado came out and hit him. I think Faceless Void actually didn't use his time most optimally during the tornado. He could have gone a little bit closer to the Doom, maybe even go in for some potential body box, get like 1 or 2 extra right clicks off. But that was still like a split second decision, and really couldn't have gone too far anyway towards the Doom. But man, oh, just missing 2 kills like that, it hurts them so much in the end. And well,
going back to what I was saying before with the Mirana, she's picked up phase boots, and that's a huge item as far as surviving in lane, but also getting right clicks, last hits, when you're competing with the Wraith King, because now they have roughly even base damage, so June can actually get some gold in this bottom lane. But the Shadow Shaman and Dazzle are back. If Ingman lands a Wraithfire Blast on this Mirana, she might just be dead. She doesn't have any Starstorm, has gone for actually a support Mirana.
Mid lane, the Malphite comes out, there's the Black Hole as well, just for the 1 kill. Shallow Grave maybe a little bit too soon, but Phantom still might be able to survive the tornado, doesn't clip him in the back. And man, Invoker, he was so close to dying there himself. And Kawaii, they're just lacking damage all around.
That's what happens when you go for a Wex Evoker. You get that utility, you get the mana drain, but if you don't have anyone to actually put the last hit of HP into the enemy, then, well, they're going to get away time and time again. And Mirana's certainly not going to be that hero. She does not have any points in Starstorm, so if that arrow whiffs, which so far I don't believe it's hit a single time, then she just won't be able to get anything done. She will dodge Wraithfire Blast in the bottom lane, but still, that arrow is so essential for Kawaii because they need that damage. Now Tornado will be thrown, and EMP will burn out Ingman almost completely. He does not have any reincarnation now. He's going to be brought down. Arrow will be thrown. It'll once again miss, but it's okay because it didn't matter. they get the kill on the Wraith King nonetheless. Successful rotation, finally, for the Invoker.
Yeah, and that's really good as well. Inkman was getting a lot of farm on the bottom lane, and of course now getting some breathing space to the Mirana as well, who net worth wise actually isn't that far behind of anybody else at all. Enigma farming up pretty reasonably as well. Top 3 are still in Northern Lions, but then Kawaii's 3.5 cores, I guess, come. But mid lane, once again Phantom XP, gonna get Malphite up. There is the Tornado, or not, EMP rather. And, well, no, suddenly Kawaii pick up 2 fast kills, 4-1 on the kills board. But top lane, are we gonna see a 2-1 Faceless Void? No, Moonlight Shadow is there. And they have the Chronosphere, oh, he can catch both of them. Oh man, this can be a disaster.
Got body block, he knows where they are, and instantly Supercell is going to get doomed, but he does drop the Chronosphere beforehand. Looks like this Dazzle, unless he gets bashed, is going to survive. One more hit, there you go. Supercell, though, is going to be the trade. Here comes the Invoker from the side. Going to participate in a little bit of denial attempt, unfortunately. Not going to happen. Invoker coming a little bit too late to that party, but it is a 1-for-1. Losing your Faceless Void, not really what Kawaii really need, especially since their damage still isn't that high. They need this Faceless Void to participate, but in the meantime, bottom lane, June does get tagged with Great Fire Blast, instantly into the Hex, and then the Shackle. He did enough damage to kill off this Mirana. Big leap away, and CY is right around the corner with a Fissure. He's going to block off Ingman from securing the kill on Mirana. He's going to throw the arrow. I don't think it's going to hit. It'll hit a creep, but that doesn't really do much.
Yeah, it's really nice escape by the Mirana there. I was almost positive that it's gonna go down, but Sai's Fissure just completely made sure nothing happens on mid lane once again. Oh, actually the Malphite makes so that the Prophet doesn't run into the Tornado. Do they have the Black Hole? No, they don't, but they still will have enough damage. Probably Supercell, he time walks in. Can he get the time lock? One more right click, is he gonna follow him? Nope. But Seidan, he TP'd in on the Shadow Shaman. Will he pay the price for it? Pashuk wants to go for the Malphite. Does get it as well. I think Shadow Shaman is gonna go down, and indeed he is. And Pashuk, he's gonna even make it out from there.
Well, they don't get the target they really wanted, but they get a kill nonetheless, and that's going to be okay for the Kawaii side. Unfortunately, the Malphite stun came and denied the Invoker his Tornado landing, which kind of sucks because that Tornado almost certainly would have meant that the Death Prophet would have gone down in that exchange. Not a terribly huge deal, though, as they do get something out of it. Enigma slowly crawling closer to that mech. It's not going to be the fastest mech in the world. Enigma, though, to be fair, has been rotating a lot around the map, so it hasn't been just AFK farming in the jungle. Ingman, in the meantime, on bottom lane, they only have the arrow to do a lot of damage, and Ingman's going to try to cut his way out. No, he's not. He's instead going to hug the tree and do absolutely nothing. He's going to get EMP'd, and that's going to be his death.
Yeah, man, this Vex completely is the bane of him at the moment. Oh, the Tornado catches the Dazzle as well. Fissure to follow, and suddenly the Invoker actually 3-0-4, so he's been a part of 7 of the 8 kills that they have. He's been extremely active and just setting up kills left and right on the map. So to begin with, they were lacking the damage, but as they got more levels, looks like they have had enough. Now the drums are finished on the Invoker as well, so he's extremely speedy already as it is. But mid lane, Pashuk, he gets hexed up. Will the Shackles follow Moonlight Shadow? The Shackles are there actually, but do they have any detection? Doesn't look like it. And Pashuk just runs away.
Once again, teams trying to go for kills with Mirana on the enemy end. It's always a little bit of a difficult prospect, but they'll take a tier 1 tower. Should be relatively free. They're going to try to deny it. That's not going to happen. Shadow Shaman secures that one. Now Enigma in a really awkward position. Here comes Ingman with Wraith Fire Blast. He doesn't have that much damage in the meantime, though. The Basher could possibly walk away, but here comes Satan with that Hex. Mech will pop off, and Enigma does get that one delivered mid-fight. Tornado and EMP can hit onto absolutely everyone with the Chronosphere. This is going to be huge for Kawaii. They take down Ingman first. Who are they going to go for next? This is a 2-shot onto the Dazzle. Here comes Phantom with the Exorcism, and Supercell already doomed up. He's getting nuked down as instantly 2 die for the Kawaii side. CA and Phantom both very, very healthy, and now with this Exorcism popped off, they could potentially look for a little bit more damage on the tier 2, but it looks like they're going to play it safe and just fall back after that exchange.
Oh man, I feel for the Wraith King. He hasn't gotten a single time to actually get his reincarnation on cooldown. Just EMP completely drains his mana every single time. He needs like 15 charges on the magic one to be able to survive it somehow, and even then he has to time it perfectly. Oh man, Inkman definitely isn't getting as much done as he would have hoped for, especially with the start that you have. But top lane, the Tornado catches Phantom with the Fissure to follow up, EMP Tornado, and well, even Echo Slam spent for it. Kill secured. And 11-4, 40 minutes in, but looking at the graphs, Northern Lions, they actually hold a 1,500 gold lead, nearing 2,000 even, and XP, well, it is 3k in Kawaii's favor thanks to the kills, but it's definitely not a disaster for Northern Lions yet.
A lot of that gold advantage is focused on the Doombringer, who has level 4 Devour and a Hand of Midas working away. So, though the gold advantage may be in favor of that Doom, it's still, at the end of the day, just one hero with all that advantage. And it's not someone like a Faceless Void who, if he had that much of a gold advantage, he could single-handedly win the game. Doombringer's not exactly that type of hero. He'll provide you with some good advantage, but going for drums and now blade, not blade mail. I don't think that's a blade mail. Don't really know. Just chainmail for now. He's going to get some advantage for his team early on, but it's not really the type that the gold advantage would indicate. Now CA in a little bit of trouble as Supercell does jump in. Does not have a Chronosphere. He's doing a lot of damage to CA instantly. He will get Ward Trap Tower. Supercell is trapped in here. He's going to just barely slip away. No, the Death Prophet coming in with the Crypt Swarm will secure that kill. Now going to Cyclone up the Invoker. He is dusted up, and he should not escape. However, a beautiful Tornado is going to run towards the south. Instantly CA is there. Wraithfire Blast, and then Beat Down. This is going to be the death of the Invoker, although, yes, there it is.
Yeah, I mean, that was so over-eager from Kawaii. They definitely felt a little bit too bold after just gaining a pretty huge kill lead, to be honest. But Faceless Void, nice reaction by Shadow Shan as well, getting the Hex. I was so sure Faceless Void actually has the Chronosphere up when he jumped in like that, but it was still on cooldown for about 17 to 18 seconds. So maybe could have or should have just waited for it, but... well, didn't pay off this time around. Maybe it will next time. But they might even lose the tier 1 tower top for this.
I was pretty sure that he had the Chronosphere up as well. Otherwise, why would you dive a tier 2 tower like that? It just doesn't make sense. So, certainly got punished by the fact that he didn't have that skill, and they will in fact lose the top tier 1 tower as Phantom does pop off the Exorcism. The Enigma trying to put some hurt onto the mid tier 1 tower in exchange, but the Doom is around, so worst case scenario, I think it gets denied. CA is going to get some with the Malphus, but he has that chainmail. He's not taking any damage from these little Eidolons, and so the tower in the mid lane will survive for now, though Bashrook is going to keep pecking away at it. This tower should be brought down one way or another. June's going to rotate in, does have an arrow up, but they have some backup here. The nLions, Satan is around with a Hex. Arrow will be thrown, and nothing. This tower will survive for now.
Yeah, and actually it's... the biggest issues on Doombringers is that you lack mana heavily. And if he's going for a mech now and there, he actually buys it up just now. So he might not even have enough mana to just pop his mech, maybe even not his ultimate if he gets caught by a full-on EMP. So it might become an issue before they get something like a Blink Dagger or something like that. The tier 1 mid lane goes down, Kawaii completely there in full force. They have the Chronosphere ready, they have all their ultimates they would or could ask for. So... do you think that they should actually force the issue, go for tower after tower until nLions actually come in properly to try to stop it, or...?
Well, they have the Wex Invoker advantage right now. That means the mana burns is going to be almost completely depleting the mana reserves of nLions. That eventually is not going to be the case, but for right now, with that advantage that they have, it'll be a mistake to not push this advantage, because especially when they have all these big ultimates. Chronosphere is up, Black Hole is up, Chronosphere actually just now hitting level 2. So if they don't go for some action, if they just let the game stall out for now, I think that'll be a little bit of a mistake. They need to take advantage they should take advantage of this Wex Invoker while they still have it, and while he's still the most powerful hero on the map.
Yeah, and actually now Earthshaker, he picked up a Blink Dagger as well. It's rather early on, to be honest, 18 minutes in. So that's a really good timing. He actually went for a Soul Ring instead of Arcane Boots as well, but Roshan gonna go down. Phantom even pops his Exorcism just in case for it to speed up the process. As TP, oh, Phantom, he comes in, dodges the arrow, rather, the arrow, the timing was off. Eul Scepter up in the air, took a lot of damage before, though completely out of mana and has to escape straight away.
They're not going to catch this Invoker anytime soon. He has Phase Boots, Drum of Endurance, doesn't have maxed out Wex just yet, but I'm sure that will be coming soon enough. And now with the Force Staff, this guy is going to be near impossible to catch. June's going to throw another arrow, and it will... once again, not connect. That's 3 points an arrow that so far has provided almost no value. Supercell on the top side is getting initiated upon by Ingman. Takes a pretty big crit, but he will be successfully able to time walk out of there. And he's going for a very, very late hand of Midas on Supercell.
Wow, I did not see that coming, but I guess Mirana has it as well. Got it like, I think, 14 minutes in or something like that. So might pay off in the long run. I mean, late game... they probably have the better of it, just purely for the fact that Brave King is a carry that's rather easy to kite around. But oh man, I have no idea if it's gonna get punished. It most likely is, to be honest, I feel like, in this game.
Enigma also has the Hand of Midas. Do you have any idea what time that came up? How long ago was that?
I didn't see that coming out at all. I saw the Mirana picking his up, but no idea when Bashrook went for that. So they're gonna go full out late game. They just want to get some form of XP advantage, I guess. Maybe get like a decently timed BKB into Refresher Orb on Enigma, something crazy like that. But triple Midas, especially triple late Midas. Oh man, I just hope for their sake that Northern Lions aren't going to take huge advantage of that.
This is kind of another way of them saying we're going to put a lot of our eggs in the Invoker basket. These heroes aren't going to have any other side items up. They're going to depend very heavily on this Wex Invoker, not to be aggressive, but to be defensive, which is kind of the same point I was getting to before, in that they have the most powerful hero in the map. They have to make use of it. Instead of taking towers, they're going to make him play defense and secure lots of Hand of Midas gold for now 3 heroes for Kawaii. So if as long as the Invoker plays his role correctly and keeps the nLions side from pushing in with that Death Prophet, which so far has been really good at doing, then over time these Hands of Midas are going to be really, really hard for nLions to overcome. They have a 1 Midas to 3 right now.
Yeah, and actually, is it? Oh, it's 2 Midases on the dire side. Inkman as well as CA, so Doom and
2, sorry.
Wraith have. So actually it's not that bad coming into the later stages as well. Although we have yet to see a proper team fight coming out from Kawaii. There is a smoke from Northern Lions though. And Phantom, he goes for a Road of Aethos on the Death Prophet for himself. So
I think that smoke might have been spotted by this Radiant Observer ward. It depends if Kawaii gets caught out. John is going to leap away for now and then instantly go invis. Death Prophet looking for that slow from Aethos, the Eul Scepter, something, but yeah, I think the smoke was caught and Mirana's going to be fine.
Oh man, this... To be honest, Wraith King, he has triple life at the moment. He has level 2 reincarnation as well. It's going to be extremely hard for Kawaii to actually stop the push if they have Mass Weapon wards as well as Exorcism coming out. Although, Chronosphere into Black Hole is still something we have yet to see. There's a Blink there on Doombringer of course now as well, together with the mech that they finished earlier. So they have the heal coming out, whereas Kawaii... Well, they have the mech as well on Enigma, so I guess in that regard it's all fine. And do you think that Enigma having a mech makes him the just priority #1 target for the Doombringer to get his ultimate on, to just stop the Black Hole and the mech 2-in-1?
If you can get that, then it's fantastic. Although I think the priority, like the ideal priority, would definitely be that Invoker. You gotta shut him down as much as you can. And well, already they're gonna go for this tier 2 tower, and this is where the build from Kawaii is getting a little bit questionable. If they had fighting items, they could easily fight this one out, but instead they have to fall back and defend, they forced the nLion side to fall back and defend, which is all well and good. Ingman might actually go down. No, sitting in the Midnight Pulse for just a little too long. He will be just fine in the end. They sack the tier 2 tower on the bottom lane, get nothing in exchange, and this is the weakness that you have, the slow weakness that you have by picking up those triple Hands of Midas.
Oh man, Inkman actually dropped down to 13 points of life after the Fissure came out from the Earthshaker. Little bit unfortunate there, but what can you do? And actually, I mean, this Brave King is struggling so damn hard with the EMPs, just completely out of mana all the time almost. But he has 3.2k gold, and well, he picks up a Maelstrom now, some extra attack speed, getting some lightning procs going for himself. And to be honest, even the Brave King doesn't do too much damage at the moment, at least not yet. But between the 5 of their heroes, they probably have plenty to just go around. Death Prophet, just such a machine with that Exorcism.
That's exactly what nLions are going to be looking to do. They already did that in the bottom lane, use the Exorcism to take down a tier 2. Top lane, middle lane, those tier 2s are very vulnerable to this Death Prophet, and if nLions recognize that Kawaii have gone for this such a late game build, they'll be able to punish that sufficiently with Death Prophet. But here we go, Wraith Fire Blast will be thrown as Death Prophet does send herself up into the air, does have the Rod of Aethos, but it's on cooldown or something. The Invoker, with enough movement speed to probably shrug it off anyway. They will trade a couple hits here and there, but Exorcism now up, and I think this tier 2 tower mid lane is going to be the next target for nLions.
They might be in for a nasty surprise though, as Enigma just picks up his Blink Dagger. Oh man, we have seen I think one Black Hole which was used on a solo Death Prophet and didn't even end up in a kill thanks to a nice shallow grave from the Dazzle. But Exorcism level 2 comes out, the Tornado is there, Invoker just wants to buy some time. Another Tornado EMP combination, even a Deafening Blast used, but Regeneration comes out on Brave King thanks to the Aegis expiring. So that was actually perfect timing for the Brave King, just losing all of his mana and then regaining it.
Invoker's going to try to mount some sort of defense, but against an Exorcism Death Prophet, it's just not going to happen. They do take a 1-for-1 trade, 1-for-1 tower trade, and also they catch the Doom out. Was it Chronosphere? No, Chronosphere wasn't used. Echo Slam was any? They just killed the Doom. Okay. I wasn't watching that. I was watching the fight in mid lane, so I don't know what happened, but Doom dies.
Yeah, might have got an arrow, I'm not too sure. The Fisher definitely blocked him off at some point across this line. But, I mean, just going 1 versus 3, you don't really need ultimates, I guess. And the Doom, we thought he's unkillable. Why did he do this to us, man?
He knew that we weren't watching, so he's like, I could probably get away with it this one time. But, yeah, they take a tower, or both sides take a tower, of course, nLions. Giving up a kill in exchange for the fact that they get a tier 2 tower, but they have to be slowly getting more concerned. CY, as mentioned, does have a Blink Dagger. The Enigma has a Blink Dagger as well. And those triple hands of Midas are really starting to get some serious value. Looks like everyone's going to start to build up Maelstroms in this game. This is a game for Maelstroms. Mirana has one, Faceless Void almost has one, Wraith King has one. So they're all going for about the same exact build.
Midas and Maelstrom Gaming for the win, but actually Wraith King has himself a Blink Dagger now as well. So it makes it 5 Blink Daggers across the board, 5 Hand of Midases. It's gonna be 3 Maelstroms at some point. I mean, crazy item duplications.
A lot of chain lightning that's going to be thrown around. I think it'll ultimately benefit Kawaii just a little bit more. I mean, they have a ranged hero getting the Maelstrom, which is a little bit better. You're safer to throw out more attacks. But also the fact that eventually Weave is going to be a big deal for the nLion side, giving them a lot of physical armor. And, well, you know what? If you're hitting for most of the damage through chain lightning, then you're going to bypass all that armor. Top lane, though, Supercell in a little bit of an awkward position. I think he should be just fine. He's kind of sneaking out over there. He could teleport out, and yeah, he's fine.
Yeah, I think he even may want to just creep skip at some point when Northern Lions are at the tier 2 or so. Although, one creep wave, that's all Northern Lions need. Inkman can easily just tank up the tower if need be.
They're going to go for it. They have Exorcism. BKB is being built on Death Prophet, but this tier 2 tower is not really long for life. Phantom is going to go for the Exorcism and the Serpent Ward. It's a pretty big commitment for this tower, but Supercell is going to jump right in, get 2 into the Chronosphere. There's no response just thus far. Satan does get healed up and Grave. EMP will burn him out, but he's still alive, sitting in the Midnight Pulse. Phantom is slowly burning away, but he's going to slip away as well. In the meantime, Doom has been brought down. Supercell is going to get focused by Ingman, who does have his reincarnation up. He's going to walk right back into the Serpent Wards. CY going to try to kill this Shadow Shaman. It's not going to happen. He's going to get a fissure, but silence. Now Bashrook with the 2-man Black Hole. Arrow onto the Ingman. Black Hole instantly gets interrupted, but Ingman looks like he will for now die. No, he's going to get Grave, and he does still have reincarnation up. So he's going to just go right back in this fight, slow down CY and Bashrook. Is there any more engagement possibility here? The EMP is going to be thrown, and it will drain out a lot of Ingman's mana. Now a little bit of body blocking from this Enigma as Ingman throws off a Wraith Fire Blast, but it doesn't matter because he's going to go down. Kawaii, they defend their tier 2 tower. They take a pretty good damage trade, and now they're on the crackback. They're going to throw an arrow, and it won't hit onto anyone, but still, I think they should be able to secure this tier 2 tower. At the very least, get this Dazzle. No, nothing that they can invoke to cancel off that TP.
Oh man, what a crazy fight that was. And the Doombringer, he blinked in, he wanted to get the Doom on, well, more or less anybody, but he just got cold snapped and got targeted down by 4 enemy heroes. And actually a huge part in that fight was that the Chronosphere, it set up a 5-second arrow onto the Death Prophet, who also dropped down to like half HP from that arrow itself already. So couldn't really go in too deep to help out the others past the tier 2. So in the end, tier 2 survives with around a quarter of an HP. Northern Lions, they lose 2 heroes. Kawaii, they're now at the tier 2. Oh, but all of a sudden he blinks in aggressively. Fisher straight up. The Doom is there on Supercell, but is it going to be enough? The Tornado EMP will catch Doombringer complete and now slow on to Sayorshik. It will be the sacrificial lamb. But it's a 1-for-1 support for support, so in the end, not a bad trade at all for Kawaii still.
Oh, they're still trying to go for Supercell. He's going to time walk away just before the sword hits. Supercell is going to get away with less than 100 HP. That was incredibly close there, but he does manage to get away. Doom was used, and, well, nLions are going to continue to throw a couple nukes up there, but they're not going to find anyone. Meantime, the Enigma has been on bottom lane, pushing that one out. This tower can take some pretty serious hits, but yeah, Kawaii taking a really great fight up on that top lane. The Chronosphere at the very least being a huge zoning tool, keeping 2 people, or 3 people actually, out of the fight from supporting the Doombringer at very most, almost killing Death Prophet and almost killing the Shadow Shaman. That Midnight Pulse is doing some serious work, and now they're going to go for this Dazzle once again. EMP Tornado in the Midnight Pulse. He's going to get Grave off on himself, but I don't think it's going to help him for very long, because the right-click damage is intense. Mirana going to secure that kill, and then most likely secure the tower as well.
Yeah, it's... Oh, Satan actually blinks in aggressively. There's the Hex coming out. Nice force staff though. And CA he smells blood, but a nice ice wall just stops everything. Bashro, can you blink out to safety? Yes, he can. Boots of Travels, he should be able to TP out. BKB is finished on Death Prophet, so can actually stand in the fights and deliver if need be. But I just feel like the way this game is going, Kawaii is benefiting so much more. I mean, gold-wise, it's pretty much zeroed out, but I just feel the momentum and just the heroes that they have, Kawaii just will start being scarier than Northern Lions.
Yeah, we mentioned that before. If they get away with these Hands of Midas, then they're going to be perfectly fine. If they stall out the game, eventually the Faceless Void is going to get really huge. Eventually the Mirana is going to get really huge, and Invoker is going to get really huge. And they have really great heroes to deal with the enemy carries, namely the Wraith King. So if Kawaii stay this course, then they'll be able to get a lot of gold off of their Midas, and they'll be able to accrue that gold and translate that into big items, into big fights. And well, they've certainly been doing a really good job at that so far. So it's just a question of whether or not nLions can break that status quo. Death Prophet needs to start pushing high grounds with this exorcism, but so far the Kawaii side, they're just not giving the nLions team that advantage, that opening.
Yeah, and a huge part here is as well that Phantom Faceless actually got himself a kill on Dazzle, just using the Chronosphere for a solo kill, no biggie there. But the Death Prophet only level 14, so still 2 levels off of actually having the level 3 exorcism. And that's just to do with them not getting too many kills at all, but Roshan is on the agenda for them, and looks like Kawaii, they have no idea this is going on.
Between Serpent Wards and the Exorcism, they're going to be able to take down this Roshan pretty swiftly. But again, this is going to delay their push just a little while longer. CA on top side might be in a little bit of trouble. Supercell does have a lot of damage. He's going to pop the Mask of Madness and just go to town on this Doom. Here comes the Midnight Pulse. That's what's going to be doing the real damage. Sunstrike to finish the deal, but it's actually the Midnight Pulse that does it in the end. It's a free kill on Doom up on top in exchange for the Aegis, plus a tier 2 tower on top. Kawaii are getting some pretty great trades, all things considered.
Yeah, they certainly are, and now with those last creep kills here, Supercell, he's gonna have his Aghanim Scepter as well, so 60-second cooldown on that Chronosphere, and of course it's a level 3 Chronosphere as well, which means a 6-second duration on it. It's gonna be so hard to actually fight into that at any stage, any time, and Nigman, he picked up the Aegis once again on the Wraith King, as Hex picked up on the Invoker. And I mean, I understand Aegis on Wraith King just to make sure that once you get EMP'd, you can still come back to life at least once, and then with a full mana pool have the reincarnation pop the secondary time. But I just feel like he doesn't have enough damage to be an actual threat at the moment even.
I think he has enough damage if he was able to hit things, but that's really where the problem's coming in. He can't get close enough, and he can't actually put out a sustained damage source. If he could find someone that is, for whatever reason, just immobile, whether it's Shadow Shaman or otherwise, then he'll be able to bring them down fairly quickly, but that's just not happening. Now with the Hex up on Invoker, that's going to continue to not happen, and that just spells doom. I mean, it's great if you have a Wraith King that does a lot of damage and is impossible to kill, but that's not the status quo right now. I think, like, at this point, maybe even getting a Radiance just to... It's going to be incredibly late, but he needs some threat on him, because right now that's not going to happen.
Yeah, at least he has his Mjolnir finish, so can use the static charge for some extra damage going out, but man, Enigma also finishes up his BKB just now, so blink BKB into Black Hole. There is nothing except the Doom to stop it. And oh, blinking aggressively, but the arrow into the Wraith King. Is it gonna be a disaster? Earthshaker actually still hanging around, goes for the enchant out there, but now Doombreaker comes in, even uses the ultimate on the Earthshaker and just level death to ensure the kill.
I don't really know why Earthshaker decided to turn and fight here. He does not. Should have a buyback. He does have a buyback for this potential push, but Kawaii, they can no longer split push this one out, because right now nLions, they're knocking on the front door. They're gonna lay down the Midnight Pulse. Tornado will be thrown, unfortunately miss everyone. Fortification will slow him down. Now Ingman gonna get most of his mana pool burned out, so he's gonna be the Aegis used. It looks like he's gonna get mech'd up, and he's going to drop. There's the Aegis. And now that means that there's no EMP for round 2 of his life. The Ice Wall is going to do literally nothing, but still Exorcism and Serpent Wars ticking away at that tower, but not enough because no one's actually focusing that tower. So the ultimates are being used, but ultimately they don't get anything. They lose the Aegis on the Wraith King in exchange for a little bit of tower damage.
Yeah, they really need the Exorcism to be actually maxed out. Being level 3, it almost doubles in damage, or at least in the amount of spirits. So that's a huge part of just their pushing power. And Wraith King losing an Aegis for virtually nothing. Yes, they did some damage to the tier 3 But I think Kawaii, they're just completely fine with that, because now, yes, Invoker is gonna catch Ingman again. Tornado EMP might just be the end of him. Is he gonna go? Oh, he's going for the courier.
That was a Mystic stat that he just sniped off. He's going to get slowed down by that Rod of Atos, but the Fissure will ensure his safety. Now Chronosphere as Phantom is going to get beaten down by Supercell, win the Death Pulse. That's a lot of damage going the way of that Death Prop. He's going to go down. Ingman trying to get in the middle of this fight, but he, again, doesn't have that much threat. The Invoker's going to get focused down. It looks like in the Earthshaker, going to bail his friend out. Now the Black Hole on 2 with the Meteor. That's 2 down instantly. And now CA, he's going to be focused. Ingman still trying to get his hands onto anyone, but he gets arrowed. He gets brought down. The static charge will kill off the Invoker in exchange, but that's fine because Kawaii take almost a complete team wipe, almost flawlessly.
Yeah, I mean, the Invoker just barely died there. A little bit of luck involved for nLions there. Getting at least something out of it, but excellent fight for Kawaii. Just the initiation. I think the Invoker went for the ballsy kind of play, the risky play, just going for the courier instead of just Tornado EMPing up the Brave King straight away, making sure that there's no reincarnation at all. But in the end, it just completely worked out for them. The Chronosphere was pretty damn nice as well, completely blocking off most of nLions from the fight. Getting an easy kill on the Death Prophet, and with no exorcism, nLions definitely aren't that scary at all anymore.
That denied the Shivas to the Doom, almost certainly, which wouldn't have, I don't want to say it would have won the fight for nLions, but it definitely would have helped out. Now blink forward from Ingman. He's going to throw the stun onto the Enigma, but he will blink and dodge that. Instantly, though, the Cyclone, as they do have a little bit of vision here. Bashrik is going to get slowly brought down. Oh no, Serpent Wars. He's going to get quickly brought down.
Wow, Serpent Wars. I'm not too sure about that because now suddenly... Yes, they have Exorcism level 3 now from that kill on Phantom, but... Without Mass Serpent Wards, the push definitely... I just don't think it's going to be enough, especially since the Chronosphere is still up on Faceless Void, or rather up again, thanks to the Aghanim Scepter.
He's always going to have that, especially if he layers that with that Midnight Pulse. Oh god, that's a lot of damage that it's impossible to avoid. Like, I guess you could just try to get a pipe and try to avoid it that way, but that much damage removal is really, really hard. So they're just going to try to stall Kawaii so that their Enigma can get back up. But even if they don't have the Enigma in this fight, Supercell with his Chronosphere, he should be able to pick off one hero at the very least, because Invoker's going to be right behind him. But here we go. Exorcism should be popped off momentarily. There it is, and Ingman will start focusing that tower. Fissure will slow them down a little bit. Most of the creeps don't have any access to that tower. Phantom is actually not hitting the tower either. Blink out from the Wraith King. He's going to play it safe for now. Exorcism, though, will take out the Tier 3 tower. But is there any more follow-up to this? nLions, they're falling back. They respect the Enigma as well they should.
Yeah, they definitely should, but now, do you think Kawaii is like, guys, Exorcism is down, that's a major part of nLions damage. Are they gonna go aggressive themselves now? Looking at the buyback status, actually most heroes, or rather all the Radiant side heroes have buyback anyway. So just taking a fight when nLions aren't at their strongest might be a worthy decision maybe.
At the very least, wait till you have that Black Hole, but if they do make a push down mid lane, by the time they actually are going to fight, Black Hole will be up. But still, they have the hands of Midas ticking away. They're in no rush. As long as they don't get picked off at poor timings and have their buybacks forced out or whatnot, then they'll be okay with losing these tier 3 towers, because at the end of the day, they'll be able to defend their Raxes. That's really where it counts. Faceless Void sitting on 4,000 gold. That could be his completed Mjolnir if he does want to go for that, or just a Butterfly, really anything for him. Mirana sitting at almost exactly the same amount with Demon Edge in tow, so she has her Mjolnir completed right now, and well, she's looking to do a lot more damage moving forward. nLions, most of their damage, and by most of the damage I mean all of their damage, is focused into this Wraith King who only has the Mjolnir. He's getting out-damaged by this Mirana.
Yeah, the Mirana definitely has caught up with his own hand of Midas. 3-0 and 8 as well, but oh, the blinks in just as the Earthshaker blinks out. He just dodged 3 blink daggers.
Not only did he do that, but he also managed to waste the smoke of nLions and just waste their time. nLions might want to just go for it anyway, because once again, they do have an Exorcism up, but they'll have to worry about top lane and bottom lane, which are both being pushed out by Invoker and Supercell respectively. So yeah, they can't afford to just keep bashing their heads up in this middle lane. However, they still need to make something happen, because these heroes, these agility carry heroes for Kawaii, they're starting to get out of hand with just the amount of gold that they're managing to accrue.
Yeah, and I think it's like the first time in this game that I've looked at the net worth chart properly and seen actually Kawaii players being on top. It's not by a hell of a lot, but I mean, nLions, they used to be the top 3 for such a long period of time, for like 35 minutes, a little bit extra even probably. But not to be, and Phantom might be in trouble. The Chronosphere comes out. Supercell, does he have enough? Solo, the Sunsphere comes out just to help a little bit. Fissures as well, a nice Shallow Grave. I don't think it will make a huge difference in the end, or will they? The heals Midnight Pulse. Bishrock does have enough himself. So 64 seconds on the sidelines. He has buyback though on the Death Prophet. Definitely doesn't want to use it if he can help it.
These picks though from Kawaii, if you're nLions, that's like the worst case scenario because Chronosphere was used and normally you could say, okay, well, Chronosphere was used, that's fine, we have buyback. But Chronosphere is Aghanim, so that has a really short cooldown. It's going to be up in another 30 seconds. Satan's going to run into Bashrook as he instantly does get Doom, so no Black Hole for this fight. Arrow will fly and hit squarely onto this Doom. Tornado is going to fly as well. Where's the EMP? Ingman is going to try to focus down this Invoker, but Invoker with so much movement speed and Deafening Blast is going to keep himself safe. In the meantime, Supercell going to try to fight a 1v4 in the back end. He'll pop out the BKB and time walk away. Enigma was killed, but he instantly buys back. Supercell going to chase down by CA. He's going to try to pick this fight out, but it's not going to happen. He needs to get out of here, but it's not going to happen. He's going to get chopped down. It's 2 for 1, 2 for 0 for nLions. They take a really good fight there.
Yeah, indeed they do. I mean, just absolutely brilliant, to be honest. Just excellent for them. I have no idea how it went so well for them. Of course, Kawaii just... Enigma getting shut out completely, doomed out from the start of the fight. And no mech, no black holes to worry about. They could just actually breathe, feel relaxed a little bit in the fight. And Faceless Voice ultimate was still on cooldown for another like 15 to 10 seconds when the fight broke out. So nLions just... They had impeccable timing of just choosing the fight. Death Prophet, the buyback, definitely worth it.
Also the Invoker, where normally a Wex Invoker would be, you know, all AoE all the time. He was forced to just use all his skills to try to get away from Ingman because the Wraith King was right on the Invoker's ass and he had to use Deafening Blast, which is at this point one of the most useful skills with shutting down the nLions DPS. So he had to use that really high priority skill on just one target, and that's definitely not what you want to have happen. Now, Kawaii, they don't use the Black Hole in that fight because, well, they couldn't. They have a Chronosphere up again and they'll have Echo Slam in 40, so though that fight was bad for them, that wasn't exactly crippling. They're still very much so in this game and still very much so in the driver's seat.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at the graphs, putting it in numbers, 7,500 gold lead for a pretty decent amount of time already as well with XP. 20,000, I mean, they've literally throughout the entirety of this game have been in the lead in XP. So... And I guess the kill score kind of reflects it as well. And now Exorcism and the Mass Serpent were popped just to go for Roshan. The Sunstrike actually scouts it out as well. And once those ultimates end, Kawaii, they have a huge opening. But of course, this is going to be Cheese and Roche, and as well as the Aegis, I mean. So, oh man, Kawaii, do you think they should have gone in to just try to contest this or go in after the... Oh, I heard the BKB auto, man. He popped the wrong button. The 9-second BKB, or rather that's 10-second BKB just went.
Oh, that's just terrible. I would have said that Kawaii probably could have picked a fight there. They have a BKB on the Enigma. It's 9 seconds, so they have the Black Hole. They have Invoker and Roshan Pit, which is one of the best heroes you could possibly ask for in that scenario, plus a Chronosphere. So if Kawaii were to take that fight, they probably would have gotten the upper hand. But regardless, they do lose the Aegis, they do lose the Cheese, but somehow they pull out the 9-second BKB charge. They're not going to know about this, but I don't think you really plan around those types of things unless it gets down to 4 seconds. Then it's where you plan around it. But they're going to be okay with that still, but I still think they missed a pretty large opportunity there.
Yeah, and, well, I guess in the sense that it's still on cooldown for another 25 seconds or so. Don't think nLions really want to fight without Exorcism and Mass Serpent wards anyway. So they can just wait it out somewhat, Kawaii. Are they just gonna sit back and relax as well? Just let their Hand of Midas do their work, just continue controlling most of the map, just pushing out the lanes and wait for the Aegis to expire?
Yeah, I don't see why not. I mean, they've been doing that for quite a long time already. They still have all 3 of their Midases up. They haven't sold them for bigger items just yet, whereas the Wraith King on the other end, nLions, is Ingman. He's already sold his Hand of Midas, so his income is slowly going to start to slow down in comparison to that of Supercell or June or Bashrook. So as long as they keep these items up, they'll be continuing to gain quite an advantage. Ingman going to be collapsed upon very shortly. Invoker coming in from behind. Aegis and Reincarnation is a lot to burn through, but with the Faceless Void, you can do it. Supercell's going to pop up the Mask of Madness a little bit prematurely, trying to catch up. Looks like the Wraith King gonna survive, but yeah, still, Faceless Void has a long way to go before he's 6 slot. He still has Mjolnir, still has to replace his Hand of Midas, and replace his Mask of Madness with something like a Butterfly, Satanic combination, something like that. So he has a lot of gold to spend eventually. And they get a Courier. Why is the Courier there?
Miss Micro is really... Oh, there was a dust on the ground, before at least. But sending a courier to pick up a single dust to that kind of position, I have no idea, man. Just... They were like, Donkey, it's time for you to die. For the greater cause.
Sacrificial donkeys. Oh my god, that's a refresher orb from the Enigma. That's 2 black holes, but again, if you die and he doesn't have any buyback, that's... Or if you die or get doomed, that's 0 black holes. So right now, Midnight Pulse and Ice Wall, it's a devastating combination as far as defensive concerns. But for right now, they're just going to slowly push in. Ingman does get tagged with an arrow, but Exorcism is going to be popped. Let's see if Kawaii can take any sets of Raxes here, or if nLions can take Raxes, or if Kawaii can mount some sort of defense. Earthshaker off to the sidelines, does have a Blink Echo, and Phantom sitting among the creeps. This could be a big one. Tornado's going to be thrown. EMP will burn out a little bit of Phantom's magic. No, he will dodge it successfully. Now June going to get Fairy Fire Blast. Ingman's going to get stunned up. There's the Chronosphere from Supercell. Instantly going to go towards that Satan, but instantly the Grave is going to keep him alive. CA in the front lines, going to chop down CY and Bashrook. That's doing so much damage. Ingman is going to lose his first life, but it doesn't matter because Exorcism plus Servants have secured themselves a set of Raxes. No black holes to come out there. And just like that, nLions, they were behind for so much in this game. They're still behind, but they take a set of Raxes. So, well played by them. Supercell uses Chronosphere to get pretty much nothing in that exchange.
Yeah, just excellently done by nLions. Not losing in ages. Not having to use the cheese either on the Death Prophet, and well, now maybe if Kawaii really want to push it out while the Exorcism is still on cooldown, they can potentially, as well as the Doom. Although I don't think they will actually make it to the enemy base to threaten it enough. But the Doombringer, he just zoned out 3 heroes by himself. He blinked in, popped the Doom on the Invoker, just right-clicked the Earthshaker to death, and just pull it off the Enigma as well there. So Enigma, not even getting doomed, yet still unable to get a single black hole off.
Also, there's the fact that June just didn't have any room to attack. Like, right from the get-go, the Wraith King was right in the Mirana's face, and that's like the worst-case scenario. Mirana's holding a Basher, so I guess once you get Abyssal, then the Wraith King jumps in and you stun him or something like that. I don't know, but the Wraith King didn't let June get any real attacks off, and that's really where most of the damage from Kawaii is coming from. The Faceless Void does a lot of damage, but if in the end of the day, if the target gets Shallow Grave, then no one's going to die. So Mirana needs to be able to right-click people, and that fight, it just wasn't happening. So it's a free set of Raxes for the nLion side, but still, they have quite a long ways to go before this game is actually going to be theirs.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely helps having the 1 set of Rax, but I completely, wholeheartedly agree with you there. Kawaii, they just have such a great team fight, and all they need is just one connection of that wombo combo, and just nLions, all of them have to buy back in England. He wants to go so aggressive, the Moonlight Shadow is there, he gets hexed up as well. Can they actually win the fight now? Wraith King, is he gonna lose all of his mana? He probably is. No, the Reincarnation is there, but Phantom, he's taking a lot of physical damage as well. Where's the Shallow Grave? It comes out maybe a little bit too late. The Death Meatball is there, and there's the Black Hole onto 2 heroes. Bashrook, he's gonna have enough, or no, the cheese! Phantom, he just barely gets it off the Doom from CA. Buys that 1 millisecond of time as Supercell time walks over the trees. Oh man, that was such a clutch cheese to come out, and Supercell gonna get slowed down, silenced up as well. The Creep Swarm, no, that force that he hits him back to safety. As Enigma, he does go down in the end, but I cannot believe this Death Prophet actually survived.
That was a huge cheese, and not only that, they denied Kawaii any attempts at aggression. They used 1 black hole, they used the Chronosphere. The Chronosphere was pretty much perfect. Mirana was right on the outside, chipping away at everyone from the inside, but they couldn't get anyone killed. However, Ingman is going to get hexed up in the meantime, stuck in the Ice Wall as well. He doesn't have an Aegis, doesn't have a Reincarnation for another 10 seconds. Can they bring him down in that 10 seconds? Looks like they won't even try, because they have to worry about their top lane. nLions, they're barreling down pretty hard. They'll take down that tower. And Exorcism is not up just yet, but I still think they can make something happen, seeing as though they have the number advantage. Ingman can rotate right in for that tier 3 tower. And now Kawaii, this is starting to look pretty bad for them. They need another Chronosphere to be good from Supercell and actually get some targets killed, but that Shallow Grave doing so much work. Oh no, huge miscommunication. CY completely whiffs his Echo Slam as Satan does manage to slip away with that Shallow Grave. There's the Chronosphere now onto 2. Can they bring down Phantom? No cheese is going to save you this time, Death Prophet. There he goes, and CA stuck in the Chronosphere with the BKB as well as going to just barely dodge the arrow. Supercell has another time walk forward, but they do manage to secure 2 kills. Plus they make the defense. Ingman though can make a trade onto Earthshaker. Now BKB and TP away. Is there a bash? Is there a bash? You bet there's a bash. Wraith King does not have reincarnation now, and he is going to go down. Those 3 down for the nLions. Taking a quick look at the buyback status. There is no buyback on the Death Prophet, no buyback on the Shadow Shaman. Wraith King, however, does have that up.
What a crazy game this is turning out to be, and there's a refresher orb now on Supercell as well. So double Chronosphere coming out. Of course, he himself doesn't have too much damage to input there. I mean, I guess a pretty decent amount, but nothing too crazy really from him. And we have double black holes, we have double Chronospheres. I mean, in theory, if I would hear it like, yes, a team had double Chrono, double black hole, I was like, yeah, they're just 100% gonna win this straight out almost. But it's definitely not the case. Abyssal Blade also finished on Mirana. But man, nLions, can they hold on? 20 seconds on the Death Prophet. Wraith King has buyback if really necessary. Oh man, can they hold on to just have the Wraith King come back to life naturally and not have to waste a buyback?
I think they should be able to. I mean, Kawaii, they are pushing pretty quickly, but not quickly enough. They don't have much of a creep wave to speak of, and nLions, just a little bit of poking with nukes, shocks, and maybe even Serpent Wards, which will get deployed right away. They'll be able to hold strong right now, and Wraith King with another 15 seconds on the timer will be able to resurrect the good old-fashioned way. So yeah, Kawaii, the big thing is though they do have the big ultimates, and by big ultimates I mean 2 of each big ultimate, they just aren't getting any room, which normally you would say is really weird. With black holes, that's what you get lots of room, but nLions, they're taking this fight really quickly straight into Kawaii's face, so they don't have any room to navigate. They don't have any room to use their spells as they would want to. So nLions are playing it very well, but it's going to get a little more difficult now that there's 2 Chronospheres on the field. You can drop a Chronosphere, and if it hits Dazzle, that's a free kill on someone. So it hasn't happened yet, but eventually Kawaii, with this many ultimates, will be able to find that money ultimate.
Yeah, it really is just a matter of time. We really haven't seen any huge combos connect yet. But all they need is one, especially now that the buybacks are scarce. Only the Doom as well as the Wraith King have it. If they get Phantom XP down before it does much of anything on the Death Prophet, it's just probably going to be GG, especially if he goes down without buyback and Exorcism on cooldown.
Fissure and Arrow onto Ingman. He's going to take a lot of damage here in the rock, plus that Midnight Pulse. Supercell, though, gets Hexed and Doom. No Chronospheres in this fight. Supercell's going to get focused down, and I don't think he could actually escape from this one. He's going to go down. This is an immediate retreat from Kawaii. Jails pops his BKB. CY jumps in for an Echo Slam, but he doesn't do much damage to anyone, in fact. June does leap out of there alive. It looks like CY is going to be the sacrificial lamb. Beautifully played from the nLions Doom player. CA making a huge play there. June still trying to get away from these spirits, but it's going to just be enough to kill him off. The Mirana does have buyback. The Faceless Void, though, does not. This is nLions' big opportunity to get a couple sets of Raxes here.
That was just such a clutch Hex from the Shadow Shaman coming out on the Faceless Void just as he came in. And actually the Faceless Void, he hesitated for just like a second before popping his Chrono off. And was enough for Shadow Shaman to get the Hex, Doom to follow. And this really might be game, just that one fight. No buyback on Faceless Void, no buyback, but still they go in. The Chaos Meteor comes out, Ingman. He doesn't have the reincarnation. The black hole completely whiffs. Nice Shallow Grave Wraith King. He needs to stay alive for another 4 seconds. Can he actually do it? Come on, escape. No, he stays around. Actually goes down. He has buyback if he really wants to with Boost of Travels. Hex now onto Bashruk. They blink in. There's the refresher on the Doombringer. He uses the ultimate now, Bashruk. He actually used his own refresher, but couldn't go for anything. BKB is there. Does he go for the black hole? No, he wants to use it for the team fight. Mass Serpent Wars are down. Buyback from Ingman. He's there. He blinks in. There's the black hole, but cancelled immediately, or rather cancelled by himself, maybe even, as Ingman just being the buffer between him and his allies. And looks like they're actually maybe doing it, although Faceless Void is coming back with a double ultimate.
I think at this point it might be a little bit too late. It's especially too late to save these Raxes. Serpent Wards plus 3 Siege Creeps will secure that, and well, Enigma uses 2 black holes. And between those 2 black holes, he hit an average of 0 people. No black holes hit anyone in that. So that was not exactly the best black hole in the world. But yeah, as you said before, Shadow Shaman with the quick Hex, with the quick finger, Satan, really making that fight, which snowballed into that much lead for the nLions side. Now, to be fair, Faceless Void did make a little bit of a mistake. If you're going to time walk in like that, which is, you know, time walking almost completely blind into an area where you know the enemies are, you pop your BKB beforehand so that you don't get hacked. He's going to jump right and pop the BKB and land a really good Chronosphere onto 3, but can he get anything done? He's going to jack the cheese at the very least. Meteor does get dropped. Double Chronosphere now onto 4 heroes. June on the other end is getting eaten alive by these spirits, but so far 2 are down. CA and Ingman are both going to fall as well. This is the Reincarnation. Yes, Reincarnation and then Aegis, but Supercell going to be dueling up against this Wraith King. He should be able to win. There's this life number 2 down the drain, and life number 3 I think is going to be coming very shortly. Buybacks everywhere from nLions. They're going to lose Ingman, however. Kawaii, they're still alive and kicking.
Holy crap! Wraith King doesn't have buyback. Of course, Kawaii, they just have to hurry their way back into their own base to just push out the lanes. But just Faceless Void, he completely made up at the moment for what he did before. Of course, if he had activated the BKB like you mentioned before jumping in the last time around, we might not even be looking at the double Rex down and might have been GG for Kawaii instead already, but man, they're just definitely hanging on. Double Chronosphere just perfectly done, and the cheese. I mean, actually the Faceless Void was unable to pick it up himself due to him being with full inventory slots. But Aegis completely wasted or didn't accomplish anything, and now look at this Dazzle. On top of his BKB, he has a Blink Dagger as well on Sean, so 10-second BKB with a Blink Dagger just to ensure that he can come from a safe distance to save anybody with a Shallow Grave.
And that's really the biggest tool that they have against this now double Chronosphered Faceless Void. So if the Dazzle manages to get caught by the Chronosphere, then, well, someone's going to die in that Chronosphere almost assuredly. But if he stays outside and stays safe, then he'll be fine to provide some extra cover for his team. Still, it is 2 Raxes down, and Kawaii have yet to take any, but I still think in a heads-up fight, if Kawaii play their cards right, they should have the advantage there, but so far the heads-up fight just hasn't been coming. They'll have double Chronosphere and double Black Hole in just about 40 seconds, so they'll be able to make a big fight happen then. And also Mirana is dishing some pretty serious damage with the completed Abyssal Blade. But still, nLions, they are in a pretty good situation, all things considered.
Yeah, they have double Doom as well, so in theory, in a perfect world, he can Doom up both the Enigma as well as the Faceless Void. And how sick would that be? Just preventing 4 ultimates pretty much all together then. Oh man, of course, there's a Shiva's card now picked up on Sai's Earthshaker. So that will prevent a lot of Wraith King's damage as well as the ability to just kite him around with the slow of the active. But
that double Doom scenario is awfully optimistic, but you know, just as easily as double Doom can land on the perfect heroes, Enigma can get a 4-man Black Hole. So that just shows how delicate the situation is right now. The gold experience at this point pretty much means nothing. It's all about the value. Who gets more people caught in their big ultimates? Who survives for longer? Who gets caught with the Doom? Who's in the Black Hole? Who's sitting in the Midnight Pulse for 1 second too long? That's where this game is ultimately going to come down to. Though mid lane and bottom lane Raxes are taken by nLions, still, I don't think it's going to be really truly over until the Ancient goes down. The Megas can be fought off somewhat by Kawaii, seeing as though they have 2 Mjolnirs.
yeah, it's not too bad for them at the moment. Oh, they smoke up as well. They want to go on the aggressive. It's definitely a good choice as well, Doombringer. I mean, he's completely on the wrong side of the map. His buyback is on cooldown anyway, so he's probably gonna buy Boots of Travels now. But if they get caught now, 4 versus 5, it's just gonna be absolutely devastating. Not a single hero in this game has buyback at the moment. Enigma only 80 gold short, but nonetheless not a single buyback yet.
That was the most obvious smoke up in the world, with top lane pushing in, with mid lane and bottom lane all pushing in. Suddenly no heroes on the map means that, well, the enemies are up to something, and they're certainly not at Roshan right now, so clearly it must be smoke. Kawaii, they're pretty much forced to stay in their base for, you know, the good amount of the remainder of this game. Still though, they are getting some pretty big damage items up. Mirana, I think, would benefit possibly with some lifesteal. We saw in that Roshan fight, Mirana was firing away, but she got eaten alive by the Exorcism. She almost straight up died to it. So she needs some sort of sustain. She's doing a lot of damage, but again, if the Wraith King blinks right into her, she's gonna crumble.
Yeah, definitely is. And actually, the unsung hero kind of is Dazzle as well. The weave is actually a huge part of their damage output, especially since Exorcism does physical damage as well. So if the weave has been able to just tick down for a certain period of time on the enemy heroes already, they just completely melt to the Exorcism even faster than they normally would. And there's no AC or anything crazy like that to just kind of mitigate the damage even somewhat. But Phantom going for a plate mail of his own, wants to tank up, wants to pick up a Shiva's card, I guess, along the way. But he's just still so far off, and actually item progression has kind of slowed down for both sides, thanks to them, of course, trying to save for the next buybacks, as well as just having to use buybacks previously.
nLions, they're probably... I think it would be smart for them to not make any huge plays until the next Roshan. I mean, these fights, as you saw, are just so very delicate. If they take a fight unnecessarily, then they are going to lose because... Or they're going to lose a lot because, again, no one has buybacks in this game right now. Roshan is going to be the safe play for nLions, but for now, they're going to put pressure at anywhere they possibly can and just try to get themselves a couple more items. I mean, I think their items are about maxed out on the people where it counts. Wraith King can get an Assault Cuirass. He could almost buy that one completely. Doom has Tranquils that could be turned into Travels. The Death Prophet has Shivas upcoming, but aside from that, nLions, their damage output really isn't going to get much higher from here on out. It's all about shutting down the enemy heroes rather than having your own heroes become really big.
Oh wow, this game just completely 100% probably will come down to who gets the initiation, who gets the jump there. If we're gonna see, for example, nLions gonna go for Roshan, I think it's gonna be number 5 in this game, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, because last cheese was denied, one cheese was eaten by Death Prophet, so this will be, yeah, this will be 5.
And if in that scenario we're gonna see the Faceless Void did exactly what he did last time around, it's probably gonna be
here we go, Magic Rune for the Mirana. She finds a double damage. That can and probably will make a difference, especially since Aiden is gonna jump in, instantly get the Hex on CY. Arrow will connect on the Shadow Shaman and bring him down instantly. There's a Chronosphere, and can they bring down Phantom? The Supercell Void will get doomed, but there's the Echo, plus Black Hole onto 2. CY is going to jump right in. They're going to clear up CA, and with a second Black Hole as well. Catch Phantom with the second one. Gene ends everyone else. They're all going to die. nLions, the only one alive is Ingman. The base from Kawaii is in tatters, but they're going to take down everyone from nLions. Taking a quick look at the buyback status. There are no buybacks. Kawaii take a miracle fight.
Yeah, only the Wraith King and the Doombringer have them, but they're not going to be able to defend with the two of them, and even if the Prophet had buyback, his Exorcism would be on cooldown anyway. So Kawaii, I think they just did it. That was a horrible time to initiate from nLions. They did have this Observer Ward actually spotting out the double damage getting picked up as well. So I have no idea, they just couldn't handle the pressure anymore. 62 minutes in, they were like, guys, we have to get the jump on them ourselves. And it almost worked out as well. They got the Doom on Faceless Void after the first Chrono, or actually, was a Chrono even used? I'm not too sure, but Enigma, he just had free reign then after that. Blink in, Black Hole, double Black Hole, catching 2 in the first, 3 in the second, I think. And now, will we see Rax fall down? And actually, it wouldn't surprise me if they just went for tier 4s and Ancient straight after.
I don't know why I said there's no buyback. I was looking at it and I saw yes everywhere, so that was kind of stupid. But they do take a set of Raxes. They take a fantastic fight. With Death Prophet still down, Kawaii can look to even this Rax score up. Ingman gonna jump right in. Supercell, though, does pop BKB and now goes straight to town. The Supercell is getting focused down. He will get blown up, but most crucially, the Mirana is still alive and shooting on the outsets. CA is going to pop with the BKB and try to go for CY. CY is going to blink away, but Ingman right on his tail will throw out another Ray Fire Blast onto the Invoker. That Ice Wall providing so much value, plus a huge fissure from the Earthshaker. Everyone's trying to get away. They only take 1 set of racks off of that. Oh, Kawaii, they don't push as fast as I thought.
Yeah, I was totally expecting it to be like GG almost, with no buybacks and Death Prophet and stuff, but not meant to be. And Roshan respawn, oh, it was a really long one. It was around 10 minutes and 40 seconds, or around that at least. And of course nLions, they are completely out of buybacks now, whereas Kawaii, they have 4 buybacks. Faceless Void only 100 short as well from it. But within the next 50 seconds, do you actually think nLions can push out far enough to just make the Faceless Void not having a buyback be an issue?
I think they're going to, at the very least, push forward and try to force a buyback from the Faceless Void. it'll take a little bit for them to realize that the Faceless Void actually doesn't have a buyback, but in 30 seconds, they can't really get that much done. Still, the Mirana is doing a lot of damage in this game, so whether or not the Faceless Void is alive at this stage is not something that nLions are really going to be concerning themselves with, because it's too late to force out a buyback, and, well, the buyback isn't even there. Roshan is going to be the objective next, but by the time that does come around, there will be double everything on everyone, so yeah, it should be an interesting fight.
We need more refreshers, man. And 3 is not enough.
Earthshaker needs his refresher orb, man.
Oh, wow. I'm just so speechless by this game. There have been so many series of events where I thought it's like GG almost. But not to be. One set of racks against 2. Abyssal Blade now finished up on Inkman as well on the Wraith King. So can actually have a solid lockdown, get some extra damage as well. 100 damage from the entire item, of course. So just got 60 plus there from the Basher upgrade. Death Prophet gets himself a Ghost Scepter. Actually, definitely not a bad item pickup at all at this point.
Yeah, she sold her Yules for that though, so I don't know if Ghost Scepter will be better or worse. Definitely will be certainly very useful, but when you're stuck in the Chronosphere, nothing is really going to save you aside from a lot of armor and a lot of HP. The Roshan is going to be scouted out by both ends. I think the courier from nLions did manage to spot the fact that Roshan was up, but yeah, Kawaii, I think that this Faceless Void just needs more survivability. The Wraith King is doing so much damage. If he gets a crit on Faceless Void, he's pretty much dead at that point. If he has a Butterfly or something like that, or a Satanic, anything along those lines, then he'll be able to pretty much 1v1 the Wraith King and any other nLion hero that wants to join that fray as well. But until that happens, the Faceless Void isn't putting out the most damage. He's gone for most of the utility with the Aghanims, BKB, and Refresher Orb.
Indeed they haven't. Oh, mid lane Chaos Meteor just used to clear out the creeper. The Fisher Inkman, he's probably gonna get out. The Blink already was used, of course. Sadden, he comes in as well now. Runs into the remainder of Chaos Meteor. Oh, the Crosshair only onto 1. Will it be enough to Shadow Shaman? He's gonna take a falling Inkman. Hexed up. Tornado is there as well. Can he do anything at all? The Refresher. Oh, the Doom just before the second Chrono came out. But will it be enough, CA? His own Refresher was already used as well. Inkman, he came back, used the Abyssal Blade. But the Abyssal Blade is in return. He's gonna go down the second time. No buyback on the Brave King anymore. And in the black background, Pashrook, he went for a black hole, but it wasn't enough. A 3 for 2 though, so far, and Phantom. He has to turn around now if he wants to do anything. Echo Slam. Oh, this might be it. Now buyback on the Enigma as well, Phantom. If he goes down, it's the end of the line for Northern Alliance. Can he escape? Can he do anything at all? He heals back up with the Spirits returning. But it's gonna be GG. Dazzle, he buys back, but he's the only hero to defend.
MVP by far in that fight was Enigma. He had 2 heroes caught in the black hole. Both the Death Prophet and I believe the Shadow Shaman were caught in 2 consecutive black holes, and they couldn't contribute anything to that fight. That meant the rest of Kawaii were able to focus down everyone from nLions. Bashrook did pay his life in exchange for that, but it was totally worth it. He disabled 2 heroes for so long. It was outrageous how good those black holes were. So, oh god, that was some game, man.
Indeed it was, man. It was definitely the most action-packed game I have seen for a long time, and just happy to have casted it, man.
Alright guys, so my carry can't be this Kawaii. Finally, after an hour and 7 minutes, take this one to, I believe, ultimately tie this series up at a very neutral 1-1. And I think that should be it for us here.
Yes, indeed it will be. No night shift casting for the day because jDL America, I guess, taking a break or something. Weird enough, but yes guys. So thank you so much for watching. Just an epic match between 2 teams. My carry can't be this Kawaii and Northern Alliance. As always, a draw, like Mike Loris just mentioned as well, it was in the end. But a great game nonetheless, and if you enjoyed us casting it, be sure to follow HeflaTV on this channel, as well as HeflaTV 2 and HeflaMoke, the free English channels for us. And of course, if you want to know when we're going live, with what tournaments, with what games, and on what channels, check out our social media, Facebook, Twitter, both of them are HeflaTV, and all the VODs will be uploaded onto our YouTube as fast as possible, which is youtube.com/HeflaMoke. All the links are below the stream as it is. And of course, huge thanks to Mike Loris for casting with me as well. And where can people find you?
Oh, I'm on Twitch and Twitter, both under the handle Mike Loris, so if you enjoyed the casting, guys, I seriously hope you did, then be sure to follow both of us on Twitter. I guess we're Mike Loris and Coucher, respectively. So I believe that should be it. Do you have anything else to say?
Nope, that is gonna be it indeed. Just a few songs to finish up the stream, guys, and have a good evening or morning or afternoon, wherever time zone you may be in.
Later, guys. GG.